Tanner Roark combined with the bullpen for a shutout in Game 2. Ross Ohlendorf looks to keep his perfect record intact and send the Braves away with a Washington sweep. Big crowd coming for headphones and baseball tonight. It's the Nats trying to sweep the Braves. It might be a line drive single or a double. It might be a home run. Span Zimmerman leading the way for this offense lately, and with plenty of assists from the other guys as well. So offense are key for this one tonight, and our theme, you know, usually when you go looking for shoes, you're looking for two. The Nats picked up one at the end of July, and it's turned out pretty well. Well,
Rick Shue was named the hitting coach on July 22nd. When you talk about the difference in the Nats offense, I mean, the proof is in the stats. From April to July, they're averaging 3.7 runs a game. August through today, 5-point runs a game. That's a 1.4 difference. The batting average, April through July, 241. August, September, 284. That's a 43-point difference. And how about the on-base percentage? A very important stat in today's game. 300 April through July, 350 August through today, a 50-point increase. So you look at the winning percentage behind it, and we were talking about all season long waiting for offense, and they just needed some offense. They got it now, and it all starts with Denard Span, his hitting streak.
Yeah, and part of that home runs, too. 55 home runs since the 1st of August. Maybe some support for Ross Ohlendorf. Lately, Nats starters are pitching deep into games, and almost every time out, they're getting the W, not the bullpen.
Well, the one thing you know about Ross Ohlendorf, he's going to give you everything he has for 5 innings. He's going to let it all hang out for 5. He's hit the wall recently in the 5th inning, but that's all Davey Johnson, Steve McCaddy can ask from their starters. Just everything he got in the tank. Last time out against the Mets, he did it with guts. They're looking for the same here tonight against the Braves.
Denard Span's hitting streak at 28 games, and since 2007, only 4 in baseball have been longer. He has 45 hits, 7 walks during the streak, batting just under 290. He is setting the table for the big boppers to follow. One of the big reasons this offense is in line drive mode. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you. By your local BMW Center. And by Hyundai. New thinking. New possibilities. Pretty good theme for the last month or so for the Nats. Total change of mindset around here. There are possibilities when a few weeks ago there seemed to be none. Braves Nats, game 3 of the series, and game number 152 of the season. Train celebrating its 100th anniversary by offering irresistible financing. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. So it's partly cloudy and a cool 66 at the ballpark. Breeze not doing a whole lot except to the flags up on top of the scoreboard. The Braves are 10th in the league in hitting, 3rd in runs, 1st in home runs. And Justin Upton, he's 2 for 7 with a homer against Ross Ohlendorf in his career, but he is as streaky as anybody in baseball. He has 25 home runs. He's hit 20 of them in 2 different months, April and August, and other than that, a power outage, but he can do some damage when he connects. Ross Ohlendorf, 3rd career start against the Braves. He's a perfect 4-0 for the Nats, 15 games. Tonight, start number 7.
Last time out Friday against the Phillies, he received a 6-1 win, allowed 1 run on 5 hits in 5 innings, struck out 3, walked 2 through 88 pitches. Fastball, slider, changeup is what the Braves will see right now. Fastball averaging 92 miles an hour. It can get as high as 96, an occasional 97.
And a very frequent big windup. Strike 1, we're underway at 7:06. Elliott Johnson, 3 for 6, couple of steals, 2 runs in the doubleheader yesterday. And he and Dan Uggla are in the lineup tonight. Johnson's at short with Andrelton Simmons not starting. He's hitting .269 for the Braves after 179 for Kansas City. A bunt. Zimmerman charges. Bare hand. Plays it beautifully to start the night well for the defense.
A pretty good bunt right there by Johnson, but anybody that's seen the Nats play a little bit this year knows that Ryan Zimmerman is good as anybody on the slow roller or the bare hand playing the bunt. Underhand throw, exactly the way he likes it, right on the money. Great play to start this game up by Zimmerman. And that says a lot of things. You know, a lot of times the ball will find you early in the game and you're really not into the flow yet. That shows you how ready he is to play tonight. Tough play right out of the gate, makes it flawlessly.
This one on a play off the bat of Justin Upton. 2 for 9 in the doubleheader yesterday. 15-year veteran behind the plate, C.B. Buckner. Dale Scott is the crew chief now. Todd Titchener at second base and Jordan Baker at third as Dana DeMuth has departed this crew. 5 different umpires worked the doubleheader yesterday. And Upton fouls another one off to the right. He's on a 5-game streak, 7 for his last 21. 6 in the league in home runs, same number as Ryan Zimmerman. Great slider. Ohlendorf. He made it look like a strike for a while.
Rolly Ohlendorfer with his first strikeout of the night. Nasty slider down away. And when you miss that fastball and foul it back, you didn't do a 2-strike count. Now you're at the mercy of whatever the pitcher wants to throw. And the first slider of the night from Ohlendorf, a beauty.
That brings in Freddie Freeman. Eighth in the league in hitting, 9th in on-base percentage, and 3rd with 100 RBIs. He's been on base 3 times in the series, a base hit, couple of walks, and a run batted in. And that one off the mask of Wilson Ramos.
To the defense for the Nats tonight. Harper, Span, Worth your outfield. Desmond Zimmerman the left side, Rendon LaRoche the right side. And back in the saddle, Wilson Ramos after the second game off yesterday.
Ohlendorf career record 22-32, his 80th career start tonight in his 124th major league appearance. Target inner half up a bit and he misses his spot. 3-1. In the air to center. Denard Span. If he catches it, he gets to lead off. Ohlendorf, a 1-2-3 against a good hitting ball club, and Now you'll see another one. Third in home runs and sixth in steals. And the lineup brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And Ryan Zimmerman having an amazing month of September. One more home run. It'll be one more than he hit all of last year. Couple of hits, an RBI. You guessed it, on a home run. And a base on balls in the doubleheader yesterday. 21-year-old Alex Wood for the Braves. Pitched 6 1/3 against the Nats August 16th at Atlanta. Got a no decision. He gave up only a run on 5 hits.
Well, you're looking at his last start against the Phillies on the 7th. He received a no decision, lasted just 4 2/3, gave up 4 runs on 9 hits, struck out 4, walked 3 through 94 pitches. So fastball, slider, slurve, curve thing in the middle, and a changeup to go with it. I was watching video of Alex Wood before the game, and I'm wondering if the league is picking him up a little bit, meaning I'm wondering if they're seeing the grip on the baseball right there as he pitches, because when you look at his last couple of starts, Carp, on the first at Miami, he lasted 2 1/3, gave up 7 runs on 8 hits, and then last time out, gave up 4 runs on 9 hits. And as a hitter, you can look in that window really quickly, and if he has a changeup grip where the fingers are covering the baseball, it happens fast in an instant, but sometimes if you know where to look, you can find out what he's throwing.
7-0 loss against Miami at home. 6-5 loss at Philadelphia those last 2 starts. Denard Span 0 for 3 career against him and a foul tip for strike 2. In the doubleheader yesterday, Denard 2 for 8. Drove in a run, had a walk, stole 2 bases. He is within 2 games of tying the all-time Nationals hit streak record of 30, Ryan Zimmerman, back in 09. And Span slowly getting back in there. Wood waiting for him. Span the other way. To his left, Chris Johnson with a good reaction play for the first out.
Yeah, hit well. Johnson up for the bunt. A nice stab at it. And you're thinking that's a base hit, and Chris Johnson not so fast. Nice reaction play to his left once he gets it. Knows he has time because he's playing so close and the ball was hit hard.
Ten homers in his last 15 games for Ryan Zimmerman. Wood doesn't give up many home runs. You have to say that for him. Just 3 of them this year in nearly 71 innings. It's only his 2nd year of professional baseball. Drafted him in the 2nd round a year ago, June, out of the University of Georgia. Got a little bit of a herky-jerky thing going there. And the ball tailing away. Zimmerman fouls it. No balls, 2 strikes. Nats and Braves get together, you might expect a tight ball game. Last night was the exception. The 4-0 shutout. 13 of the 18 games this year decided by 2 runs or fewer. Braves lead the season series 12-6, but the Nats finally have won a couple here to win this series. They'd love to make it 3 in a row as the Reds are at Houston again tonight. And interestingly there, former National Brad Peacock pitching for the Astros. That's on the corner. Zimmerman gone, 2 outs.
So the defense for the Braves behind Alex Wood tonight. Gaddis, Schaefer, Upton, your Braves outfield. Johnson and Johnson, the left side. Ugla Freeman, right side. Brian McCann behind the plate.
Braves, the 6th ranked defense in the league. And Jason Worth, the hitter. 1 for 3 career against Alex Wood. Well, right now, Michael Kadyr's on top of the hitting column. 331 going into their action later tonight at home. Chris Johnson's at 327. McCutchen, 326. Matt Carpenter of St. Louis, 323. And then Jason Worth at 320. The Nats held Chris Johnson to 1 for 7 in the doubleheader yesterday. Worth went 1 for 6, walked a couple of times, and drove in a run. Boy, it's tough to keep a batting average around 330. That is some kind of lofty number to be flirting with here in mid-September. Out of play, right side. Center fielder, a good 20 feet or so, Jordan Schaefer, toward the right center gap. Two-two count. Worth will just hit it hard the other way. Second hit of the series, and that gets Bryce Harper to the plate here in the first.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. And it's been either Span or Zimmerman of late. They haven't even let Jason Worth have a chance of breaking up the no-hitter in the first inning, but nice piece of hitting there by Worth, going with the fastball away for the first hit of this ballgame.
In a lefty-lefty matchup with Bryce Harper and Alex Wood. Bryce 1 for 2 against him. The game started by Wood on August 16th, the first of the series in Atlanta that weekend. That was a 10-inning game. The Nats lost 3-2. On a walk-off homer by Justin Upton. Wood started against Taylor Jordan that night. Neither figured in the decision. And Bryce Harper had an early double going the opposite way against him.
Pretty good step-off move right there by Wood.
Wood would later hit Harper with a pitch, and then later Luis Avilan would hit Bryce with a pitch, and that was an interesting evening. And then the 15-inning game was the next night.
Wood hit Bryce with a curveball. Yeah. Avilan hit him with a fastball right in the back. So I don't know if either one was on purpose. That's for the players in the unis to decide. But if you're hit with a curveball, not that it doesn't hurt, it's just never on purpose.
1 ball, 1 strike. And they're playing Harper to the opposite gap as well with the center fielder. Outside with a heater, 2-1.
I think they're going with a changeup right here. You generally don't see that left on left. And they did, 84 miles an hour. Harper looking for the fastball. And something you're seeing more and more in baseball lately is where left-handers have confidence in that changeup. And the reason they usually don't throw it to lefties is because, for the most part, it breaks right back down the middle of the plate, kind of speeds you up, catch it out front. But that changeup right there by Alex Wood had a little cut to it, meaning it was moving away from Bryce Harper, where a normal changeup from a lefty would move in.
Two-two the count. Worth a medium-sized lead at first. Target outer half. Harper waits for it, hits it hard. That's off the glove of Dan Ugla, and Jason Worth easily goes to third. Pair of two-out hits, and that gets right-handed hitting Ian Desmond up in an early game RBI situation.
Yeah, Wood went to the off-speed with the curveball that time, and Harper waited nicely. Watch him back this ball up, letting it get deep. And that's what you do with an off-speed pitch. You let it travel. Nice piece of hitting right there, and Dan Ugla can't get to it, and the fact that it ricocheted off his glove allowed Worth to advance to third with 2 outs. Nice piece of hitting by Harper. Kind of did him a favor right there by throwing that curve right down the middle. Change up for strike 2 was a better pitch.
Wood struck out Desmond twice in that game back in August. Ian 2 hits with an RBI yesterday. He came up big last couple of times up in the nightcap. And his next RBI will be number 80.
And that hamstring for Desmond is obviously barking. We watched him score from second in game 2 yesterday. Definitely favoring the leg. But this is the time of year, especially when you're in a wild card chase. If the fracture isn't visible from the bench, you're playing.
And by the way, I don't know if we've mentioned this, but this is by a pretty good margin. A career high in RBIs for Ian Desmond, 73 last year. He should finish the season flirting with the high 80s or 90. This could help. He'll take it inside. 2-1.
I'm watching Jason Worth at third base right now, and he is anticipating a throw over by Alex Wood. And if in any way he lollipops a throw and just shows Bryce Harper a move, Jason Worth is thinking about scoring. He's inching down the line, and I wonder if Bryce Harper's noticed and tries to draw a throw right here. He was well off the base, and he's doing it again right now. He wants to throw over.
Off-speed pitch effective against the right-handed hitter. And the count's even 2-2.
The only thing about that, it would be on the throw from Wood to Freeman, because Freeman, a good athlete as there is at first base, in my opinion, is going to win a Gold Glove, if not this year, soon. And he has some kind of arm, so you would have to steal it off kind of a B or a C move by Wood.
And one of the few plays where a right-handed throwing first baseman has the advantage.
Yeah.
Desmond out to center. It'll carry to Jordan Schaefer. So the Nats had a 2-out opportunity on hits by Worth and Harper. So they're in the hit column in a scoreless game. Earlier and earlier every night. We're in the top of the second. No score. Nats have a couple of hits. Second inning presented by Luna. Call for the Luna double tonight. Get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. Sharing dinner, watching a ball game, hoping to sweep the Braves, stay in the wild card race. Pretty full menu tonight. And Evan Gattis leads off top of the second for the Braves. Ohlendorf 11 pitches, 7 strikes in a 1-2-3 first. Went with the breaking ball front door and it just stayed up. Evan Gattis 1 hit in the doubleheader yesterday, and it was a big one for the Braves. 2-run shot, 8th inning, game 1. Many thought he had just given Atlanta the win, but the Nats had other ideas.
Yeah, little did you realize that set the stage for the biggest comeback of the year and the best comeback of the year.
And arguably the best any team has ever done in 1 inning against Craig Kimbrell. 1-1 pitch, and that's a fastball that tails to the outer half.
Well, that's where you want to be with Gattis, on the outer half. He likes the fastball up. We've chronicled that, but if you keep it down and away, good pitch, and what you can do off of that is go with the slider, make it appear like a fastball in the outer half, and hopefully he commits. Like that.
Yeah, got a little bit of the plate with it, but Gattis able to foul that away. So at 8:10 tonight, the Reds will get started at Houston. Greg Reynolds 1-2 for the Reds, and Brad Peacock 5-5, but a 5.27 ERA for the former Nat. Reds won that blowout game last night. Nats swept the doubleheader, so they are 4.5 back of Cincinnati and 6 back of Pittsburgh. So when the Reds and the Pirates get together for those 6 games, everybody needs to be rooting for those battling buccos.
Hey, get your eye patches out. Your Johnny Depp gear.
Any Reds fans in the neighborhood, they got to walk the plank.
That's right. I'll be a pirate for Halloween a month early. Why not?
2-2 pitch. Gattis pops it up. Broken bat, it sounded like, and Ian Desmond right there. 4 in a row to start the game for Ross Ohlendorf. We'd like to invite you to become a season plan holder for next year. You'll receive bonus eCash multi-year price locks, and the amount you get back depends on the length of your commitment. The special offers expire September 30th. Visit nationals.com/2014, and some restrictions apply. Brian McCann played game 1 yesterday, went 1 for 4. He's 2 for 5 career against Tanner Roark, who misses up and away 1-1. I'm so impressed with Tanner Roark, I have him starting tonight's game as well.
Oh, well, we all have him on the brain after what he did in game 2. I don't blame you a bit. And what an amazing performance by Roark, who's really making a case for being the 5th starter next year based on his performance here in 2013. Let's talk to some guys. When they walked off the Braves in game 1, he was the first guy in the clubhouse, still in his street clothes, right? Screaming, yelling, hooting and hollering, saying, let's play game 2 right now. Let's play it in 5 minutes. He had to wait a couple of hours for game 2, but afterwards we all knew he was ready.
Brian McCann tried to pull that high outside pitch. Tanner Roark last night, no runs, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, a walk in 7 great innings.
The horseshoe. And he's not lucky, folks. His stuff is good. It plays at this level in a big way, and When you talk about trying to sweep a first-place club in front of you, tough to win 2 games in one day. And Tanner Roark, the main reason why the Nats swept the Braves yesterday. Unbelievable performance in Game 2.
Good running fastball by Ohlendorf on Chris Johnson, who has faced Ross quite a bit. Most at-bats by any Atlanta hitter, 11 career with 1 base hit and a walk. And a fastball deep short. Desmond's got time to plant, and he guns it to LaRoche, who picks it like it's a simple game of catch. 6 straight for Ross Ohlendorf to start the game, and this one with some help from his shortstop and first baseman. Two this year. Very impressive. Kia.com. Log on. Learn why Kia is one of the fastest growing car brands in America. And against left-handed pitchers this year, Adam LaRoche, while not much of an average, some damage. Ramos, average and damage. And Anthony Rendon, somewhere in between. But he likes lefties as well. That's 4 of Rendon's 7 home runs against left-handed pitchers. And for Ross Ohlendorf, working with Ramos, 26 pitches, 18 strikes, first 2 innings. It took Alex Wood 23 pitches to get 3 outs.
LaRoche, a nice doubleheader yesterday, on base 4 times, had a couple of base hits, a couple of walks, hit the ball hard 3 times. And a swing very short, compact, quick yesterday. Good approach to the plate, seeing the ball big all of a sudden.
And the Braves, with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, don't play the shift they might play if it's a right-hander. Not expecting LaRoche to pull the ball as dramatically as usual. He's been on base, thanks to yesterday, 13 of his last 14 games. That's with 13 hits and 11, count them, 12 walks now.
When you're playing a team for the 19th time, pretty sure they got some charts and graphs that show where you hit against who.
Yep, they should have some patterns by now.
That's something we really didn't touch on yesterday. I mean, late in the season, when you're playing a team in your division and it's for the 19th time, I mean, they got you down. They know holes in your swing. They know patterns in when you want to swing. You get into a rhythm with a catcher to where you know what he wants to call in a certain count because you played him so many times. Whether it's Brian McCann, Wilson Ramos, when you play a team this many times and it's this late, I mean, you have a pretty good idea of what your opponent has, unless somebody's new and they got called up. But catchers get into patterns, pitchers get into patterns, hitters get into swing tendencies, meaning in counts or first pitch, or they like to take. So they know you inside out.
And LaRoche, after severely pulling one, slicing that one back to the screen. The count's 1-2. Bottom of the second. Well, he's tried him on the hands. He's tried him away. And Adam LaRoche is fouling everything away. Nats have always played the Braves tough, even when Washington was having tough years. Since the birth of the Nationals in 05, Atlanta's only 5 games over 500 against the Washington Ball Club, 84 and 79. But the Nats are 5 over here since this park opened up in 08. It's a breaking ball that stays up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Interesting, the outfield a bit to pull with a big gap in left center. And that's outside. LaRoche fills the count, 3-2. He's the 9th most walked batter in the National League with 66. Three-two pitch up the middle. Probably hoping the ball would have hit the bag. But Elliot Johnson is out there to make that grab. 1 out. That'll bring in Wilson Ramos and then Anthony Rendon.
So this is what I'm talking about with the grip of the baseball with Alex Wood. And if you guys can stop it for me right there. You see the spike where the knuckles up in the curveball? As a hitter, you can see that right there. Now, granted, we're showing it to you in Expo, and it's going a million miles an hour faster real time. But if a guy has a spike curveball, you can take a peek over there. But it's just so hard to get back up to the release point from where he's behind. But every once in a while, you know, if you want to try it, say maybe you're taking a pitch right here. Just go ahead and look behind his back and see if you can pick it up. And then get back to the window where his release point is. And oftentimes, even though it's happening in a millisecond, when you play Major League Baseball on a daily basis, you're able to slow the game down. And depending on how you're hitting or how you're feeling at the plate, you could look behind his back and maybe, and I'm saying maybe, pick up a pitch.
One pitch can make a difference in a ball game. 2-0 to Ramos. He hits it hard. Backhand stop, Chris Johnson. Playing Ramos over there to pull.
And I mean, realistically, we're having fun with the Exmo too, but this is what the fastball looks like. So if you're Jason Worth, it's so hard to take your eyes off release point, but if you can look right there and not see that finger spike, well, maybe you see a fastball and you get on it. Looks real easy in Exmo though, right?
We'd all like to slow the game down like that.
Yeah, well, Jason Worth and a few Nats hitters have recently.
I can't think of a pitcher I have ever seen who has a longer arm delivery than this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, back behind his body and then some.
It just all happens in an instant. So,
well, it must be interesting in ballparks where the visiting team might be in the third base dugout. I mean, they're looking right out there, and his hand's right in front of him.
It's just so late. I've tried it. I'm not going to lie. I've tried looking for the ball behind a guy's back, and maybe that's why I was a .245 career hitter. But, I mean, every once in a while, why not? I know if I was standing in the box tonight, I'd try it.
Anthony Rendon, 2-for-2 career against Alex Wood. And that's over but low, 2 balls, 1 strike. That's well hit. And that's a very important base hit because it gets the pitcher up here in the second inning, giving the Nats a chance to turn that lineup over. And Anthony Rendon is now 3-for-3 career against this rookie lefty.
Yeah, just right back up the middle, foot down early. Hands on top of the baseball. Right down in the strike zone, staying through it long, and a nice one-hop line drive to center field for a 2-out knock. And like you said, Carp, turn over that lineup.
Ross Ohlendorf 0-for-14 this year with a bat. .074 career hitter. Tardy on the swing on a running fastball. 0-2.
Favorite part about a Ross Ohlendorf at bat is watching him run to first. There is no player, everyday player for the Nationals, that runs harder to first base than Ross Ohlendorf. I mean, he puts his head down and gives it everything he has.
And he will save a little strength for the top of the third. The Nats have 3 hits first time around the batting order. Meanwhile, Ohlendorf's been very good.
Women that serve us in the Air Force for everything they do and the freedom they protect.
This Masson telecast celebrating the birthday of the United States Air Force, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. 4 million members, 4 million stories, Navy Federal Credit Union. By 3-Wire Systems, the leader in reducing wasteful spend through disruptive technology. And by DynCorp International. We serve today for a better tomorrow. Initially part of the Army, the U.S. Air Force formed as a separate branch of the military September 18, 1947. And while the Air Force celebrates that date as its official birthday, the history of the branch stretches nearly as far back as the airplane itself.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, Cart, but I am going to wear blue and gold the rest of the season as a tribute to the tragedy that happened down the street. So if you like my blue jacket yesterday and today, you're going to love it by the last game of the season, because I am wearing navy and gold in a tribute to some friends that I have in the area.
Well done. Top of the third, Ugla, Schaefer, the pitcher Wood. On a pitch up, a spinner down to LaRoche. He's going to hustle the bag, and he got there. That ball was really going sideways as it got down to Adam LaRoche, and he had to make sure he caught the thing cleanly.
Boy, those top spinners or those squibbers down the first baseline can be tough. Just ask Bill Buckner. That was very similar, where you have that side spin, it's spinning like a top. I think the hardest part about that isn't so much playing kind of the break in the ball as it's spinning, is that when it gets into your glove, it's still spinning and really has a propensity to jump out of your glove. That's when you really have to secure with the top hand to stop the rotation on the baseball.
Number 8 hitter Jordan Schaefer. Ross Ohlendorf has 7 outs on 27 pitches. Schaefer 0 for 4 with a walk, and he's always a bunting threat because of his great speed, and Ryan Zimmerman was on a semi-charge in from third base there. Quickest way to get rid of a guy thinking about bunting is get ahead in the count. And on the changeup outside, the count's even 1-1. Ball 2. Alex Wood. And I'll tell you what he's batting after the at-bat. As Ohlendorf throws it by Schaefer, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This tremendous restraint on your part, and I'm so proud of you. Because I know it's some kind of stat that you're thinking you're going to jinx things, so nicely done.
Too many ex-ball players over the years sitting to my right have wanted to throw me out of the booth after a stat like that.
That hasn't stopped you, though.
Swing and a foul tip for the strikeout.
All right, what is it?
I'm not telling you.
Still?
We got to wait for the pitcher to bat.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about Schaefer.
All right.
Nissan will track this one no matter what's coming up.
Well, I see everything up and away to Schaefer, and strike 3 the same. 93 elevated fastball. Schaefer with a chase out of the strike zone. And I'm on pins and needles over here. I like the tease. I mean, nice.
It's all about building suspense here on Masson.
It is.
And that goes inside, 2-0. And that fastball will run to the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Was it that Jordan Schaefer's 0 for 375 against Ohlendorf and you didn't want to jinx it?
No, but Schaefer is now 0 for 15. But this one deals with the guy in the box right now, and the count's back even, 2-2. Braves are having some funky numbers offensively these days. We know how feast or famine they can be offensively. And with that out, Alex Wood is now 0 for 21 as a big league hitter. Denard Span, well, he's a lot better than that. Again hit the ball sharply first time. Last night, it took a little while. It was the 5th inning before he checked in with number 28.
Dugout clapping behind him. Signs in the stands. Nice standing ovation from Nats fans after Span reached first base.
STG takes us inside the numbers. So in this century, which, yeah, is still kind of young, 4th longest streak by a left-handed batter. Chase Utley, 35 games, 06. Ethier, Dodgers, in 11, 30 games. Johnny Damon, back in 05. So a longer streak than Ichiro or David Ortiz were able to muster.
That is a impressive leaderboard right there.
Sure is.
Some big names, including the guy in the box.
And overall, including all hitters, only Ugla, Moises Alou, Ryan Zimmerman, and Andre Ethier have longer streaks since 07 than Denard, with Ugla's the longest at 33 games 2 years ago. That's ball one.
So Denard Span, throughout this streak, has loved the 1-0 count. I mean, he really doesn't as a hitter, but he's taken advantage of this count more than he has all season long.
And he bounces this one out to short. That's Elliott Johnson. First out, bottom of the third. That'll bring in Ryan Zimmerman. Struck out looking first time.
Well, that home run he had in game 2 yesterday late to take it from a 1-0 nail biter to a 2-0 ball game, and they went on to score some more runs in that inning. Just kind of gave everybody the relaxing feel they were looking for that whole game.
Wow, that ball absolutely crushed Elliott Johnson to his left. And Ryan probably hit the ball you just saw as hard as this one.
I mean, elevated fastball. You remember there was a time this year when Zimmerman was having trouble getting to the fastball. Whether it was in the low 90s or upper 90s, he was swinging through a lot of heaters. He's made the adjustment in his swing. He's kept his hands up a little bit higher and kind of tightened everything up, shortened his approach, and now it doesn't matter whether it's 90 or 100. He's getting to fastballs consistently. That was a belt-high fastball last night. Mid-90s, he rode out the other way.
Jason Worth, solid, clean single to right field, first time up. The Nats went 3 for 9, first time through the order, with Worth, Harper, and Rendon hitting safely. And the breaking ball down and in, ball 2. Look out here. Dangerous hitter getting into a dangerous count.
And I think if Rick Shue has one philosophy that really stands out among all others, it's guys standing tall in the batter's box and really pounding down on the baseball and creating backspin to where your hands are actually kind of raising up as you stand tall and you fire them down the zone. He calls it stack and jack. And you look at Zimmerman standing taller, Span standing taller, Worth, Harper, everybody kind of standing more upright, their hands high, and pounding down on the baseball. A lot like that.
Well, here's a guy in a batting race who's 2 for 2 tonight. Worth rounding the bag. So he's up to 322 with a couple of knocks.
And if you're sitting at home maybe thinking, well, pounding down the baseball, FP, is going to make you beat it right into the ground. It doesn't. It creates backspin. You see how the bat goes right down to the ball right there. You kind of pinch the baseball, a lot like in golf when you see him bring, you know, a short iron back and spin it on the green. Same kind of principle to where you're creating that backspin, and what backspin does is it creates distance. You get some good backspin on the baseball, it's going to go.
I love the classic side view with the catcher knowing a particular pitch might be a problem, trying to reach for it before the batter can hit it, and McCann waiting and then trying to extend, but Worth able to send it away. So here's Bryce Harper, who singled hard off the glove of Dan Uggla first time, and that was with Worth aboard with 2 outs in the first. Off speed, diving down and in.
So hit the curveball his first time up. Kind of flailed at a changeup in a 2-1 count. Let's see if Wood decides to go back to the change right here in a hitter's count.
Wow, look at that number, 542 when it's 1-0. They take a fastball in there. Nats have struck early in this series. Game 1 yesterday, 3 in the first. Game 2, a run in the second on a Lombardozzi RBI.
You take a 1-0 fastball down the middle, you were sitting change up all the way, and that's what Bryce Harper just did. Might be a little bit in between. And that's the thinking game that goes on between hitter and pitcher. And what I mean by in between is you're sitting soft and then you try to get to the fastball, you're late. Took a fastball 1-0 down the middle. That fastball 1-1, he was late. not fully committed to number one.
So the count 1-2. Harper just extends, guides the ball foul, stays alive. Nice crowd on a cool Wednesday night as the Nationals are trying to win their 82nd game of the year. And they're 45th at home. Suddenly they have one of the better home records in the National League. 1-2 pitch. Easy take there.
And you would think Wood still hasn't gone to the changeup, might be hesitant to use the breaking ball after Harper hit it hard first time up. And a 2-strike count.
He went soft and Bryce couldn't get it. Nats will strand their fourth base runner of the night. Middle innings upon us, no score. Braves still looking for a base runner. AFCEA, the Association for Global Security Professionals. Julie with our sideline report on the heels of a very interesting day here yesterday.
Absolutely. You know, yesterday there were so many layers to the doubleheader. I mean, so much more than meets the eye. And if you really think about it, it could possibly qualify as the biggest single day of baseball that this team has had to play thus far this season. I was talking to Scott Hairston about it, and he said, sure, you know, it's tough to play a doubleheader when we were playing with heavy hearts, but it was a very emotional day. Sure, it's nice to get the wins, but more importantly, you could feel the energy and the emotion of the fans. The team collectively all drew from that, and if the season ended today, you know, yesterday's game would definitely have been the biggest one all season. Jordan Zimmerman also echoed those statements. He said, you know, even though we were playing with a heavy heart, taking two from the Braves, who beat up on us all season long, putting a stop to their possible clinch celebration on our turf, that's worth it in itself.
Yeah, the champagne will have to go to Chicago when the Braves go there tonight. They have an off day tomorrow, then play the Cubs over the weekend.
Well, there's plenty of it there, trust me. Sure, they shipped it up there already. For those of you who don't know, when teams are close to clinching, they'll travel with champagne. They'll have it in the big cases down the clubhouse. They'll travel with it. It's really not supplied by the visiting ball club. You have to bring it yourself on the road. Probably the cheap stuff, too.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Nasty breaking ball to Elliott Johnson. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Ross Ohlendorf. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Yeah, good slider tonight all the way around for Ohlendorf. You know, getting ahead with the fastball, then dropping the slider under the hands of left-handers. And he's done a nice job throwing it to a few right-handers, especially Upton, his first time up for strike 3.
Upton, strikeout victim number 1 back in the first. And you've got a guy with 25 home runs trying to bunt. AT&T fact of the game for Ross Ohlendorf. So 11-0 with Tanner Roark. And the Nats have won all 9 of their starts.
Tanner Ross Rollendorf. That guy's good.
Slide piece. High in the zone, outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes.
You know, Carmen, kind of building on what Julie said about the guys talking to me yesterday, they felt the responsibility to this town with the tragedy they went through to put on a good show. And not necessarily win ball games, but just give their A effort and go out there and leave it all on the field. Not that the Braves didn't, but when it happens in your own backyard, in your own neighborhood. I played on a lot of teams where guys would make fun of the city they play in. It's not the case with the Nats. Every single guy, no matter where they're from, loves Washington, D.C. They love this town. To a man, when you talk to them, they feel like they're part of this community, and they want to go out there and show it yesterday.
Well, down through the years, more than 3 decades without baseball here, there were many around the country who doubted Washington could ever be a baseball town again. I mean, how many teams or how many cities lose 2 teams? 1 to Minnesota, 1 to Texas. 2 teams with the same name, and then get a 3rd chance. It's sure a good thing that that opportunity presented itself. And the Braves have their first base runner of the night. Upton earlier tried to bunt, and this time he hits one hard out to right center. So here in the nation's capital, cool evening, mid-September, the Nats trying to make a case for the playoffs here. And a no-score ball game in the top of the 4th inning with 2 good power hitters coming up. First up, Freddie Freeman, then Evan Gattis if the inning goes that far. Target away. Good looking fastball, but C.B. Buckner's been a little tight with the zone out there.
We'll see the 1-0 offering. What does pitch track think? It was outside. Dangerous count to a dangerous hitter.
Great RBI man, 100 at career high. And Freddie Freeman takes it upstairs, ball 3. And by the way, this is the first time in the game Ohlendorf pitches off the stretch. Pulled hard, double play. LaRoche right there at the bag. And Gattis won't bat in the top of the 4th. And Ross Ohlendorf has faced the minimum through 4.
Kind of how things are going around here lately. All the breaks going the Nats' way.
Looks like the drumbeat of victory to me. Nats playing some defense, doing some pitching, and young fans are loving it. Follow the Nats on Acela, now with 16 daily express departures between D.C. and New York. Book now, Amtrak.com. Denard Span seeking 29, hitless so far. Jason Worth perfect. Ian Desmond flight out to center, first time up, and he goes up pumping. Looks playable, foul ground for Freddie Freeman. Despite having 4 hits, the Nats haven't put a leadoff man on just yet. Marlins will be here Friday night. And if you like to go through the air, how about a carry-on travel kit from United Airlines for the first 15,000 fans through the center field gate? It's while supplies last. Some restrictions apply. Go to nationals.com/tickets. Marlins are in Philadelphia. They'll be here tomorrow for 4. After tonight, 10 more games. Breaking ball outside to Adam LaRoche, who grounded out to Elliott Johnson at shortstop first time. Adams sitting dead red on 2-0, didn't get it. Well hit, and the Nats have another base hit, their 5th of the game. Haven't gone an inning without at least 1 base hit. STG takes us inside the numbers. And Rick Schu's arrival, end of July. The Nats hit a robust 282 in August. And then 5 points better than that in December. To give you an idea of how impressive that is, the top 3 teams in the league in batting average for the season are St. Louis, Colorado, and L.A., hitting 268, 268, and 265. So when you're talking about 280s, that is really impressive. Here's Ramos. Hits it hard to short. Johnson, Ugla, Freeman, high throw and a tag. And the 4th inning is over in an instant on a 6-4-3 double play. In their stats this year, and evidently a false finish line. Teddy thought he had won, and now he's really all tied up.
They were smushing his boiler right there. Isn't that nice?
And William Howard tapped by a boiler over the fast closing guy from the land of Lincoln. Chalk one up for Ohio. We're going to the top of the fifth. Gaddis, McCann, Chris Johnson. Ross Ollendorf, by the way, 4 innings, minimum 12 hitters, and 12 outs on 50 pitches.
You see that close-up of Taft? You know, scars right around the nose area.
You know, it's the dog days of September for those guys.
They've run into a lot of different creatures that we have no idea who they've been all year.
Had a mechanical pigeon last night.
That was a rally pigeon.
Evan Gaddis popped up to Desmond, breaking his bat. First time.
Some cardboard, some gray spray paint. You got yourself a rally pigeon.
And a breaking ball popped up again. Desmond, the angle on this one. And Ross Ollendorf just keeps getting outs. When the Nats win, everybody does. Didn't quite make it to 7 runs yesterday in either game. But when they do, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. Promo code NATS50. Valid at participating D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia locations. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of the Nats. That ball jacked to right by McCann. Worth right there.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there was, what, 10 runs scored yesterday combined in the doubleheader.
Let's see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, 6 in the first game, 4 in the second game. The 10 runs scored yesterday.
The jury, which is made up of pizza franchisees, says no.
I'm just saying. That's 7 runs or more.
Well, the jury is stacked.
And they were all yesterday.
And
I'm just looking out for Nats fans that might want a pie for 50% off. So, saying.
And a breaking ball hit out of play. And here's Ollendorf with 2 outs and the hitter 0-2. Chris Johnson, hot shot to short first time. Desmond went backhand, threw him out. Good 0-2 pitch, showing him the fastball out there. And they're underway at Houston. Cincinnati has 1 on 1 out. We'll keep you posted. And the outs keep on coming. Ross Ollendorf and Chris Johnson in this series came in the league's leading hitter. He's 1 for 9 against the Nats. 7 pitches, that frame. Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. By DentaQuest. Affordable coverage for priceless smiles. Ask your broker about DentaQuest. And by University of Maryland, University College. Right into Nationals Park as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Rendon, Ohlendorf, and Span. Good crowd on hand. Bundled up a bit on a cool evening. For the Achiever and you, PNC Bank with our minor league report. Steals leaders. You know Billy Burns, the organization player of the year, was going to win that one. Right? 74 over 51 for Michael Taylor. Jeff Coburnis has been in the big leagues a couple of times this year. And Eori Perez as well.
He's just 74 bases, and your last name is Burns. It's a verb.
Great baseball name. We talked about that before. Billy Burns. Rendon sounds pretty good now. Hitting over 260 with a base hit first time. He took the changeup, nasty pitch, and he still got a strike with it. Did Alex Wood, who hasn't gotten Anthony Rendon out yet this year. 3 for 3.
Nice play. Gave it to the wrong kid. That's okay.
Now they can have the foul ball. Nats will take a run or two here. Rendon will look at that one. Good take. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
How about the big windup tonight? He's had to pitch out of the stretch to one hitter, and that was Freddie Freeman, who lined into the double play. The big windup has been winding up all night long.
Two balls, 2 strikes. That's inside. Suddenly Rendon has filled it after being down 0-2.
That's a good take. Pretty good pitch right there by Wood. Tried to go that paralyzer fastball in the inner half with 2 strikes. Just missed. And watching Rendon's BP today, he looked like he was locked. Had a lot of balls out to left center field. Was really pulling the ball with authority. And not max effort either. Just a nice smooth swing. Ball was jumping off his bat.
Jumps off his bat there, just foul. That's what we remember from the first couple of weeks. He was in the big leagues, hitting in the 350, 360 range when he first came up. Nothing in a hurry, nothing panicked. Came up once, went back down, and then when he came up to stay, he's been very steady. Not the biggest second half, but that's going to happen to a first-year major leaguer. Probably playing his longest schedule of games ever.
Well, he's on everything. There's some good swings by Rendon. Going changeup right here.
Right up the middle. Ugla can't get it. Even if he had, Rendon probably would have beaten it out.
What an at-bat.
And Anthony Rendon, 2 for 2, and 4 consecutive hits this year against another rookie, lefty Alex Wood.
I mean, it didn't matter what he threw right there. He was on it. Fastball's away, foul him down the right field line. Fastball then pulled it down the left field line. Then he finally went 3-2 changeup after he got tired of throwing fastballs, and Rendon right on it. Leadoff single and a big at-bat in a 0-0 game now for Ross Ohlendorf. Chris Johnson right in his face.
He lays it down well. No play at second. Looked like Wood might go there, and there's Ohlendorf screaming down the line. That's fun to watch.
This is a good play by Alex Wood, and I'm going to tell you why. This is the way every pitcher should field the baseball in a bunt situation when you know it's a close game. Always check the runner at second first. You have time with the pitcher to regroup and go to first base. So watch Wood right here. He comes up and he's thinking about second. He makes a good decision, didn't have a chance, but he gave himself a chance by thinking about the lead runner first. And that's the way you should field the bunt. Choke it off, go to first base. But a nice bunt by Ross Ohlendorf in a 0-0 game, getting the runner over. Nicely done.
Here's Denard Span. Great spot for him. Ground ball to third, ground ball to short. And if he goes to 29 games in a row here, could put the Nats on top. Elliott Johnson's going to hang out with Anthony Rendon out there around shortstop.
Oh, there's that changeup left on left.
Yeah, he's been effective on that with Harper and with Span.
All kinds of drama in this at-bat.
Never know when a great moment's going to arrive at the ballpark. And a little chopper to the right side. They're going to have to hurry. That ball dropped by Freddie Freeman, and that would have been close at first if he picks it up. And there's an interesting decision here to be made.
Well, more importantly, in a pennant race, you got Anthony Rendon to third base with one out, so big miscue by Freddie Freeman. We'll take a look at it again. You make the decision at home. What do you think? I don't know if Wood was going to get there in time. That was the question. So if you're the official scorekeeper, you have to look at Alex Wood and see if he was going to get to first base. They've ruled it an error. And I guess if I had to think about it this long, maybe they got it right. I don't know. It would have been interesting to see how the dynamic of that play developed. See, there was a little hesitation by Wood. I mean, he's putting his head down to get there. And it looks like he would have beat Denard Span. I guess it'd be some serious home cooking if you call this a hit. Freddie Freeman would definitely tell you this is a play he should have made. But like I said, more importantly, in a pennant race, in a wild card chase, 0-0 game, Anthony Rendon at third base with one out, and the game falls to Ryan Zimmerman.
Breaking ball inside. The one thing I will say for whoever's keeping score, they didn't take too long. They were decisive with the call. I think you can live with that. Freeman's 10th error of the year. Ben Tritipo, who calls a lot of games here at Nationals Park, on that call. Ball two.
I mean, with the way things go in Major League Baseball nowadays, Denard Span could appeal it.
Yeah.
He could get hits in 4 more games and then all of a sudden have a 33-game hitting streak.
Two 2-0 count. And that's low and inside, ball three. Alex Wood, in his quest to keep the ball down to Zimmerman, trying to get a ground ball, now goes to 3-0. Inside the numbers with STG. Any month, Nats Expos all-time slugging percentage. Bob Bailey, a good hitter back in the 70s, then Vlad, and Ryan Zimmerman ahead of some other pretty good sluggers like Soriano and Michael Morse.
Look for something up, green light in effect.
Ball four, bases loaded, and the selective Jason Worth coming in.
He's 2 for 2 on the night.
First walk issued by Alex Wood. He'll get a visit from Roger McDowell. And Worth 3 for 5 now career against Wood.
Check out the 2 knocks for Jason Worth tonight. First time up. Bottom of the first inning, there goes a no-hitter. First hit of the night for the Nats. Line drive single off the barrel to right field. And last time up, just dumps one in front of Jordan Schaefer in center field. Big turn around first base. So Jason Worth feeling it. This guy Davey Johnson wants at the plate right now.
Ballpark comes alive. Lefty-righty matchup. And Jason Worth, 330 against left-handed batters coming in. He's added 13 points to that with 2 hits. And a high strike tailing to the outside corner.
Pitcher strike, you don't want that 0-0 in a big situation.
Nissan will track it.
You're giving the borderline pitch. You don't want to expand to a borderline pitch on the black early in the count in a big situation. Nice pitch by Wood.
Good speed on the bases. And that's high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rendon, leadoff single. Sacrifice to second. Span reached on the error. Zimmerman the walk.
I think a changeup right here. And it was.
He did, and way outside.
This is where he loved to hit. He just showed you the change, Carp. And in this situation, he can't go to 3-1. So as a hitter, you know, or at least you think you know, that he's coming with the fastball. So he's painted himself into a corner by missing with that changeup. Has to throw a strike right here. And if you're Jason Worth, your all systems go on a fastball. If it's up. And it was.
Big rip on 91, and the count's even 2-2.
Now that's the thinking process and the elimination process when you're standing in that batter's box. Just missed with the change, missed poorly with it. Got to go back to the fastball. I got him right where I want him, fouled it back. Now you got to fight.
Braves bullpen busy with Cameron Lowe. And a take on a pitch over but low. 3-2.
Good take by Worth. ID'd the changeup early, spit on it because that was not an easy take. Saw the rotation out of his hand, knew it was a changeup, and now he's sitting dead red. And you know, anytime you're hitting 3-2 with the bases loaded, he has to throw a strike. So as a hitter, this is a great place to hit. Fans on their feet. This place is getting loud.
Well, that was going to be ball 4, but when you're in strike mode and swing mode, Jason Worth went after it.
Well, he threw him a 3-2 changeup, and nerves of steel right there from Brian McCann and Alex Wood. A pitch that he hadn't thrown for a strike that whole sequence, and that might have been ball 4.
He walks on a borderline pitch. Alex Wood throws a fit on the mound. And he has irritated C.B. Buckner. And as Rendon crosses the plate, Freddie Gonzalez comes out to get in between the ump and his pitcher, and he's been thrown out of the game. 1-0 Washington.
You see C.B. Buckner saying it was inside, and I think that's a good job by Freddie Gonzalez of saving his pitcher, because Alex Wood was ready to get tossed. And Brian McCann did a nice job there, too. And Jason Worth eyeballed a very close 3-2 pitch right there. And after losing the first 2 games of this series and maybe not playing as well as they've wanted to down the stretch, it's apparent to me that the Braves are frustrated. Let's check out the 3-2 pitch. What does pitch track say? Just off the plate in. It was called a ball early in the sequence. And you see the reaction from Alex Wood. Braves are rattled.
Carlos Tosca, their bench coach, running the ball club. Here's Harper. Nats lead 1-0. Still only 1 out. Harper, right center. That'll make it 2-0. Zimmerman tagging at third after Span comes home. And Bryce Harper, RBI number 52.
Smart hit by Bryce Harper. He knew that Wood was rattled, didn't want to wait around, got a pitch he liked early in the count, hit it well to center field for the sac fly. Good at-bat, good baseball. And gets a fastball in the inner half. Does a nice job of not rolling over that to Freddie Freeman at first base. Pulled his hands inside nice. Got the barrel of the ball. Threw it out there about 350 feet straight away center to score Span from third and make this a 2-0 game.
Now Ian Desmond trying to increase the lead. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of balls in the air. 1 to center. 1 a foul ball to first. And there's a pitching change. Carlos Tosca, the bench coach, comes out. And Alex Wood is done after 4 2/3. Both runs in this inning will be unearned. Alex Wood's been tossed, and he's in the face of the umpire, are trying to get close to it. And Dale Scott, the crew chief, steps down from first base.
Well, if you're a lip reader at home, you know exactly what Alex Wood just said to C.B. Buckner. And the Braves are unraveling late in the season.
Nats are into their bullpen. Still early. Long way to go. Desmond batting in a moment, and 2 Braves have been tossed.
The hitter, 2-0 Nats on the sac fly off the bat of Bryce Harper. Let's check out the big 3-2 pitch of Jason Worth. Fastball in the inner half. Brian McCann with a nice frame job. He thought it was a strike, and it barely missed. And you see the emotion from Alex Wood. He made a pitch that he thought was strike 3. Jason Worth thought it was ball 4, and so did C.B. Buckner. And Freddie Gonzalez did a nice job of saving his pitcher for the moment. Got out there quick. Chris Johnson at third base tried to calm down Wood, kept him in the game. With a sac fly off the Bryce of Harper, and here's Wood walking off the mound. Had a few choice words, if you could read lips at home, for C.B. Buckner. And he will go join his manager in the clubhouse. But all in all, Alex Wood pitched a fantastic game here tonight for the Braves. Just came unglued there after a call didn't go his way.
Ian Desmond 0 for 2. He'll face Cameron Lowe, who the Nats are familiar with from his days in Milwaukee for the last 3 years. Desmond against Lowe career 1 for 3. Ball 1. Lowe was with Texas earlier this year. In fact, he's been around a bit this year. Mariners, Cubs, Texas. That ball tails inside, 2-0, and Jason Worth just ambushes everybody by going to second base. And Jason Worth is 10 for 11 this year.
Wow, big long leg kick right there from Lowe, and Worth steals it easily. 2 runners in scoring position for Desmond, a 2-0 count with 2 outs.
Desmond a take, 3-0.
I think it's safe to say at this point in the season, game number 19 between these two teams, that the season-long series has been intense.
It's been kind of a simmering feud all year.
Oh, it's a rivalry. It is. It's official. We talked about that when the Nats were in Atlanta. I mean, the Phillies are the geographical rivalry, but when you have, fans that don't like each other and then players that don't like each other, and both teams are good, it becomes a rivalry officially.
3 balls, 1 strike to Desmond. He'll step out. One hit, 2 walks, and a big error in this inning. Desmond just gets a piece of it, and Brian McCann hit by that one.
I mean, a scoreless ball game. Obviously, Davey Johnson excited about being up 2-0, but this is a huge at-bat for both squads.
Ryan Zimmerman, quite a while ago, walked to load the bases. Worth, the bases loaded walk. Bryce Harper after him in the dugout after that sac fly. The pitching change, and 3-2 now. Low to Desmond. And a chopper, but foul. And Desmond took off, knowing that ball, if it's anywhere near fair, it's a base hit. Houston, by the way, giving up 2 in the first to Cincinnati. The Nats lead 2-0 here in the 5th. Adam LaRoche on deck with a base hit last time up.
It's suddenly hot hitting, Adam LaRoche.
Yeah, on base 14 of his last 15 games with 14 hits, 12 walks. Tough matchup for Lowe if he loses Desmond. And a chopper to third, Chris Johnson. Nats will pick up 2 unearned runs. Braves have their manager and starting pitcher ejected. 2-0 Washington.
Force, and thank you for all you do.
Well said, Jeff. Full moon night and some interesting things happening on the surface here. Ugla, Schaefer, then the pitcher spot, top of the 6th for the Atlanta Braves. Nats on top 2-0. Washington area Toyota dealers have been working all season long to strike out serious illness by supporting the Children's Inn at the National Institutes of Health. Earlier tonight, Steven Strasburg and the Toyota dealers presented a check in excess of $50,000 to the Children's Inn. They and their families attending tonight's game in their red T-shirts, seated in section 129. And all of our Ks are for all of you and your families.
It was cool, too. It was one of those big Happy Gilmore checks.
Bigger than life, and that's a lot of money. Well done, guys. Meanwhile, Ross Ohlendorf back to work. 1 hit in 5 innings, 57 pitches, 37 strikes. He's faced the minimum 15. Ugla grounded out to Adam LaRoche first time on a ball that was spinning wickedly down to first base. He gets a fastball, and the Braves are on the board just like that. The dimension of Dan Ugla when he makes contact. His 22nd of the year. Second career homer against Ohlendorf.
Well, when he gets a ball close to him and it's straight, that's what he does best. I mean, he lights the ball in. And look where Ramos is setting, right down the middle. And Ugla, who crowds the plate, gets a belt-high fastball ready to hit. And that one was hit a ton. Look where this one lands. Wow.
That's at least halfway up. Jordan Schaefer, the hitter. Ohlendorf in a hurry, and he throws it away. And Jordan Schaefer's going to second base. And beyond. And suddenly the tying run is 90 feet away. How quickly has this game changed?
In a blink of an eye. In 2 pitches. I mean, as soon as Ohlendorf used his glove right there, the gig was off. You got to barehand that ball, get rid of it quick. And as soon as he went down with his glove and fielded it, Schaefer was safe. I mean, this ball has to be barehanded. As soon as he puts it in his glove, that's when it gets weird. just kind of a push shovel down the right field line, and with the speed of Schaefer all the way to third base.
So it's a base hit on the bunt and a two-base error by Ohlendorf.
I don't even think if Anthony Rendon was back there, he could have got that. That ball was so high and wide. And as a second baseman, as soon as you see the pitcher fielding it, you got to peel back and get deep. And Rendon thought about it, but it was too late, and that might just be a case of playing a new position and not really knowing where to be in the right spot.
Pinch hitter Joey Turdoslavich, 4 for 29 with 2 RBIs as a pinch batter. And he hits for Cameron Lowe, who got that last out against Ian Desmond.
He's a big at-bat.
And a breaking ball smothered by Ramos. So Ohlendorf just gave up his 7th home run of the year. Second to Ugla. And then the bunt base hit, 2-base error. And the Nats have a battle on their hands. Right-hander Anthony Varvaro in the Braves bullpen.
Well, we talked about it in the open. Ohlendorf will give you everything he has for 5 innings, and that's really all you can ask. And tonight he has run into some trouble here in the 6th.
Two-one pitch. Swing and a miss on a high heater. 93. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Been a successful pitch for Ohlendorf tonight above the strike zone with the fastball. In the strike zone at 93. He can run into some trouble, but the Braves have shown that they want to chase that fastball up.
Target in. That one near the trademark. Braves box score. 1 single in the 4th. Justin Upton, he raced in a double play immediately. And then Ugla leadoff homer this inning. Bunt base hit Jordan Schaefer. And he's on third base on a ball thrown away. And Turdoslavich is going to go deep. It's hooking and hooking and just foul. Into the seats, just to the right of the pole.
And this has happened with Ohlendorf on occasion this year for the Nats, to where he just hits the wall in the 6th inning. And this ball just foul at the last second. Catches it out in front.
And a rookie a few feet away from his first major league home run. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joey Turdoslavich went to high school where Ian Desmond did, Sarasota, Florida. Great speed at third. Any ground ball not right at Zimmerman or the pitcher would tie the game. Check swing, got him. Turdoslavich leaves the runner at third. 1 out on a check swing strikeout.
Big pitch right here by Ohlendorf. And I don't know if it was on the swing or a called strike. I think by the reaction of Buckner, the way he rings him up right here, that is a called third strike all the way.
Yeah, a lot of times the umpire will point at the hitter and then give the out call for a strikeout. That time just ripping the pages.
And a lot of times an umpire will look for strikes all night long for one team when he's heard a lot of noise from the other.
Top of the order, here's Elliott Johnson. Good contact man, infield in. And that's inside. So Desmond, Rendon, and LaRoche a lot shallower than they were for the last hitter.
squeeze definitely in effect with Johnson up.
Yeah. He can run, and the guy at third can as well. Count goes to 2-0.
Usually the squeeze is a good play to go up by 3, go up by 4. To tie a ball game, it takes some serious nerves of steel to put that play on if you're the Braves.
Popped him up. Zimmerman. 2 outs.
Huge out for Ohlendorf.
That is severe damage, and it's Upton now with 2 down.
Here's the pitch location to get the pop-up. And it just got in on Elliott Johnson. Looked like a 2-seam fastball, came back. Not a bad pitch. And maybe Johnson just a little bit late right there. You can see that ball might have had some pine tar on it when it got to Ryan Zimmerman at third base. Huge pitch from the big windup.
Yeah, let's get the bullpen busy. Craig Stammen pitched the 8th inning last night. Xavier Cedeno situationally good lately. To buy time for them, Steve McCaddy makes a visit.
Well, there's been some kind of baseball games the last 2 days, and if you don't like this, turn the channel, because this is as good as it gets. I mean, last night a 1-0 nail biter till the Nats broke it open late. The walk-off win coming back late in game 1 of the doubleheader, and we mentioned it last night. It felt like October baseball. Well, same applies here tonight. This has been another unbelievable game between 2 rivals. And what a job he did in game 2.
Yeah, Ohlendorf trying to stay unbeaten, just like Tanner Roark is. So Upton is next, base hit in 2 trips. He's 3 for 9 career against Ross. And a ball hit well to left center. Heading for the bullpen area. It's in the seats. And Upton hits his 26th of the year. Atlanta leads 3-2.
We talk about picking up a ball club with 2 outs. And made a big pitch to Elliott Johnson, got the infield pop-up, and it just hangs the slider right here. First pitch to Upton. And he was all over it, no doubter. As soon as he hit it, you knew it was 3-2 Braves.
Freddie Freeman is next. Back to the windup goes Ohlendorf. And strike 1 to Freeman. So the Braves gift-wrapped a couple of runs for the Nats in the 5th. And then they get them and 1 more right back. Freeman high in the air to center for Denard Span. Bottom of the 5th, top of the 6th. Lots happening between these 2 Eastern Division rivals. Atlanta by 1. Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. 4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union. By 3 Wire Systems, the leader in reducing wasteful spend through disruptive technology. And by DynCorp International. We serve today for a better tomorrow. And tonight's game on Masson, we air in celebration of the birthday of the U.S. Air Force. We'd like to thank all of our armed forces for their dedication to protecting the safety and security of America.
That's not a Christmas ornament. Those are the headphones given away tonight.
You can hang that on your tree in a few months.
Yeah.
59th appearance for the right-hander Anthony Varvaro. And he'll be facing LaRoche, Ramos, and Rendon, bottom of the 6th, in a game that's taking some interesting twists and turns. Adam LaRoche against the right-hander, 1 for 4.
Varvaro fastball, curveball change, 3-pitch guy. Fastball averages 93.
Adam base hit up the middle last time against Alex Wood. So for the Braves, Cameron Lowe gets 1 batter out, becomes the pitcher of record when they score 3, and now the Nats need to get Ross Ohlendorf off the hook. LaRoche, broken bat, falling into left center, and on the move Schaefer to grab it, 1 out. 3 nights away, Montgomery Gentry will be here to close out the Nats Live free postgame concert series. It's after Saturday night's 7:05 game against the Marlins. Game tickets start at $10. Go to nationals.com/Nats Live. You must have a valid game ticket for Saturday, September 21st to enjoy the music. Wilson Ramos now against Varvaro.
And Varvaro has had 8 consecutive scoreless outings. That's covered 11 1/3 innings since August 30th.
And Wilson Ramos is 0 for 3 against him. And he got inside on Wilson there. Schaefer's going to call that one. 2 quick outs here in the 6th. Brings up Anthony Rendon. Nats, until this inning, they've had at least a hit in every inning. And in that 5th inning, just 1 hit. The error by Freddie Freeman on the span grounder opened up the gates. And the Nats were able to walk Worth, get him an RBI walk, and then the sac fly by Harper to go up 2-0. Craig Stammen now throwing alone with righty, lefty, righty coming up 7th for Atlanta. Gaddis, McCann, Chris Johnson.
Rendon's had the best at-bats besides Jason Worth all night for the Nats. 2 solid singles.
Oh, right in the middle of the bat from Varvaro. Rendon was 1 for 1 against him, and he'll go down to first base. Corey Brown will hit for Ross Ohlendorf.
Did C.B. Buckner issue warnings? Is that what the argument is here?
Has to be. So don't ever tell anybody that umpires aren't aware of team histories together. And now he's going to warn the Nats dugout. And this is the one that really hurts the team that just got drilled, because if there's any perceived retaliation. Pitcher and manager ejected.
And a key word right there, perceived, because obviously nobody wants to hit a guy with 2 outs in a 1-run game in the 6th inning. The Braves just scrap back into this game. You know, this is all based on the history of what's happened between these teams this year, but I think C.B. Buckner's absolutely wrong by issuing warnings. That was not intent. That was not on purpose. And you're not going to put the tying run on.
Agreed.
This late in the game, especially for the Braves, and you just clawed back to take the lead. I mean, obviously there's history here, and I'm sure the umps were made aware of that history before this series started.
So, Corey Brown, the hitter.
And the only reason that's a bad thing is obviously the Nats not going to retaliate, but if one gets away from somebody, then Davey Johnson goes and the pitcher goes with him.
If the umpire says it's intentional. So now, you know, ever since this rule came in years ago, the umpires, to a certain extent, have to be mind readers in situations like this. So a foul ball by Corey Brown. He's had 2 pinch hit at bats. The home run in Philadelphia, the first one.
Well, the last game in Atlanta, when lineups were exchanged, Freddie Gonzalez, Randy Knorr went to home plate, and Freddie asked Randy, "Are we done?" And Randy said to Freddie Gonzalez, "You tell me." And he said, "Yeah, we are." So that whole deal was sealed in Atlanta, and there haven't been any shenanigans so far in this series. And I don't think that warning was warranted at all.
One pitch. Corey Brown will look it in there. Off speed, low. 2-1. We've liked what we've seen from Corey Brown so far. Intriguing guy for next year, possibly. Power off the bench. Good outfielder. Speed. Good arm. Pretty much has hit at every level. That one slips by him at 88. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty good changeup right there. Good arm speed, good arm action. 88 miles an hour floating in there. Now watch the arm speed right here. This is where it fools the hitter. Good pitch.
Yeah, every pitch, all 4 of them, right in that quadrant downstairs. And Brown saw a fastball 95 and hit it straight back.
Pretty good hack right there. That might buy him a 2-2 change, which, if you're Anthony Rendon at first base, is a good pitch to run on with 2 outs.
Denard Span 0 for 3 waiting. Corey Brown rips it and hooks it foul.
Put a pretty good at-bat on him right here off the bench. Not an easy thing to do.
Corey Brown spots the breaking ball, takes it inside. And that will give Rendon the 2-out head start.
Yeah, big miss right here. You hit a gap, it's a run. Rendon can fly. Ninth pitch coming. Good battle going on between Varvaro and Corey Brown.
Corey Brown takes it down the middle. 88. Couldn't pull the trigger. And the Nats are gone in the 6th. They've stranded 7 already tonight. 3-2 Atlanta.
Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington and Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. And it's all about the Taters last inning for the Braves. They've lived on the home run this year. And you go back to the 6th inning. Dan Uggla, first pitch he saw from Ross Ollendorf. A little ambush piece. And a long homer halfway up the bleachers and left. Can't hit one any better than that. And Justin Upton, same way. First pitch slider. Didn't do a whole lot from Ollendorf. And that's the 5th home run that Upton's hit against the Nats this year. And it seems like every single one has been huge.
Yeah, 5 of his 26. Here's Craig Stammen, who had an effective 8th inning last night. Gave up a hit to Elliott Johnson, a pinch hitter, but he struck out the side. Uggla, Simmons, and Schaefer. He goes Gaddis, McCann, Chris Johnson here, base hit for Evan Gaddis, who came into that at bat 1 for 11 in this series. So the Braves have their leadoff man on base or rounding the bases for the 2nd straight inning. That'll bring in McCann. Saturday, Marlins are here. First 20,000 fans receive a 2013 Nationals team poster. You must enter through the center field gate to receive it. That's while supplies last. Nationals.com/tickets.
You're on the backside of that in a Speedo, right?
Beg your pardon?
Hey, just trying to get people to come to the game.
Don't tell them that. Andrelton Simmons, the pinch runner.
Well, you look at the Braves' game plan the last couple of innings. I mean, they're a team that's been aggressive all season long, but Upton, Uggla, first pitch homers. Schaefer, first pitch bunt, which turned out to be pretty big. And then right there, Gaddis on a first pitch with a base hit. Coming out hacking late.
Brian McCann hitless against Stammen in their career matchups. And Craig goes to 2-0 here against a dangerous lefty, and that's outside.
And we talked about the other night, to me, the bullpen's performance when you're behind every bit as important as when you're ahead. And I think it's something the Nats did great in 2012. They haven't been as good as this year, is keeping things right where it's at.
And McCann, a high drive to right center, Span at the scoreboard. It's off his glove. Heading for third, Simmons. He is going to come around. The relay home is late, and the Braves lead 4-2. That is Brian McCann's first career hit against Craig Stammen in 12 at-bats.
Oh, good at-bat right here. Gets a two-seam fastball that was supposed to be down the way. Ran back right down the middle. Good effort by Span. Kind of lost sight of this. Looks like Span was close, and he thought he should have had it. Good effort by Span, but nice relay throw. But Simmons too fast, scoring all the way from first.
Yeah, so the pinch runner move pays off. Here's Chris Johnson. He goes up hacking. And the Braves have a 2-run lead, nobody out, 7th inning. They've had 5 hits of the last 8 batters. Good slider there, 0-2. Fernando Abad throwing. Probably for Schaefer, with the right-hander Dan Uggla on deck. Well inside, hit him. Not intentional. Nobody tossed. 2 on, nobody out.
You were thinking it, though, weren't you? The way C.B. Buckner came out in front of home plate.
I was waiting to see what he was thinking. That's for sure. You never know.
A couple of sounds right here. I think got him in the jersey. Quick click. Jersey to the glove. C.D. Buckner awards first base to Chris Johnson. And Craig Stammen did such a good job yesterday in Game 2 of the 8th inning. Came in 3 strikeouts in that inning to preserve a 1-0 lead.
And right here he faces Dan Uggla, who he struck out to start that inning. Slider away. Dan Uggla 5 for 22 career against Craig Stammen. And a breaking ball outside, 2-0. Uggla becomes very dangerous here. Luis Ayala for the Braves. Pitched a scoreless 7th in the first game yesterday. And on 2-0, Uggla takes the fastball. Well, maybe not the inner half variety he likes, right?
That's where you got to pitch him down the way, whether it's straight or has a little wrinkle to it. Because he is thinking one thing, and that's hook.
Target in.
He is thinking one thing, and that's hook. And I guess if you go in there far enough, that's all he can do with it. It's just that pitch you lead out over the plate. When he's in pull mode, that's when he does his damage. But obviously at 184, he can be pitched to.
Slider low, Uggla takes, and the count's full.
He's also a guy that has 71 walks on the year.
Yeah, and that's 6th most in the National League. 3rd most strikeouts, 6th most walks. And Jordan Schaefer could be facing Fernando Abad. Unless there's a triple play right here.
Crucial for the Nationals to keep this game right where it's at.
Got him looking. Uggla tosses the bat over toward his dugout, and he'll head that way. 1 out. Nissan will track it, and he doesn't like the call.
You can see him saying that was not a strike. That was not a strike. I already talked about it. If you get the attention of a home plate umpire in a big way, every borderline call is going to go against you the rest of the night. And it looks like Dan Uggla had a beef.
So Stammen stays to face Jordan Schaefer, who got that bunt base hit, ended up at 3rd, and scored on the Upton homer last inning. Schaefer, tough guy to double up. B.J. Upton to hit for Varvaro next if the inning goes that far. That fastball away. Great pitch by Stammen. Schaefer couldn't get there. 0-2 pitch, fair ball. Tough play. Stammen makes the play in good fashion. 2 down.
I mean, it's the exact same play that Ross Ohlendorf had last time with Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer a bunt, he brought it with him. Ohlendorf chose to use the glove, and watch the difference. Stammen goes bare hand, all in one motion. Perfect throw to LaRoche. As soon as Ross Ohlendorf used his glove last time, you knew Schaefer was going to be safe, and a nice play by Craig Stammen right there, kind of smothering that baseball with his bare hand, smashing it in there and making a good throw to LaRoche to get the speedy Schaefer was far inside the first baseline.
Here's B.J. Upton, who's 2 for 7 career against Stammen. Slider, just got a piece of it. B.J. Upton as a pinch hitter this year, 0 for 4, having a rough year. Occasional power, 9 home runs, but batting $188. Stammen would like a new baseball. Jammed in with a fastball, running in at 93, and the count's 0-2.
A lot like the Ian Desmond at bat with runners on second and third, 2 outs. In the 5th inning, Upton has a chance to put this one away for the Braves. Big pitch.
And a center cut slider, but he couldn't get to it. So Stammen retires 3 straight after 2 hits and a hit batter. Braves pick up 1, this one within reach. On wheels, congressional leaders and local children's hospitals gathering tomorrow on Capitol Hill to recognize National Childhood Cancer Awareness. Hyundai Hope on Wheels will be donating $10.25 million to 41 U.S. pediatric cancer hospitals and research institutions to support medical research and programs that improve quality of life for children with cancer and their families. Well done. We salute you, Hyundai, and thank you so much. Settling back in after the 7th inning stretch, the Nats are down 4-2. They'll be facing a former teammate here, and they'll have the top of the order due up. So the Braves go in defense mode here. Looks like Andrelton Simmons will be the new shortstop. And I would imagine one of the Uptons is in left field. We'll check it out. Nope, it's not going to be these expanded September rosters. We'll get it figured out here in a moment. Looks like Elliott Johnson has gone to left field. So B.J. Upton, after pinch hitting, will go back to the bench. Shortstop to left field to replace Gaddis. And Simmons, the pinch runner, stays in. Former Nat Luis Ayala accompanied the ball club from Montreal to here. Setup man for Chad Cordero. 35th game for the Braves.
Well, crowd on their feet for this Span at bat right here. They're rooting him on. They want a base hit. Kind of hear the buzz in the stadium.
He shows bunt, takes a strike.
He'll either see a fastball, a slider, a cutter, a curveball, a changeup, or the rosin bag from Ayala. 5-pitch guy.
Yeah, and he'll throw them from different angles, too. Denard Span, 0 for 4 career against him. There's his slider. Doesn't have a whole lot of break or anything to it, but it gives you a different look than that running sinker. Denard has done so well against right-handers. He's been hitting .300 at home most of the year. 2-1. Ayala's 7th inning game 1 yesterday got Span on a comebacker. And a 2-1. That's ball 3.
Boy, tough decision for Span right here. We've seen him swing 3-1 a lot during this streak. But when you're 2 runs down, a guy who has 10 home runs in September on deck, it becomes a tough decision. Do you fill it up and go 3-2, or do you swing here 3-1? I say swing here 3-1.
He does. Base hit! Right center. 29 games for Denard Span with an outstanding at-bat to lead off the 7th.
How awesome is this? Standing O from the crowd here at Nats Park. Denard Span, the 3-1 fastball right down the middle, drives it into right center field to extend the streak and keep it alive. And just as important, in my opinion, bringing Ryan Zimmerman to the plate, representing the tie and run.
Zimmerman 1 for 4 career with a triple against Luis Ayala.
The reason you swing 3-1 right there is you're not guaranteed a 3-2 fastball from Ayala. You pretty much are in a 3-1 count, up by 2, as the Braves are. But 3-2, you just don't know what you're going to get. Like I said, he's a kitchen sink guy. He's got 5 pitches, so he throws them all for strikes, and you're not guaranteed a heater right down the middle, 3-2. So nice decision-making process to go with the execution from Denard Span to extend it to 29 games.
1 short of the Nationals record of the man in the batter's box. Zimmerman busted bat, slow roller left side. Simmons will get the lead runner on a 6-4.
This bat just shattered right here, and the reason this play became difficult is just because there's flying wood everywhere. Simmons, just in the game, does a nice job of getting rid of this ball quick because Span, based on the speed of the ball and the way the bat shattered, almost beat this to second base. And as we've seen throughout the course of this season, Simmons gets rid of the ball as quick as anybody in baseball, and he did right there to get a big out.
Jason Worth, 3 for 9 career.
Come into a big league game, ball will find you every time.
Against Luis Ayala with a double. And a fastball right in there.
I don't think you really sit on a pitch off Ayala. You sit on a location, meaning you're trying to elevate him. You want something up.
Left-hander Scott Downs. Bryce Harper's on deck. Henworth jammed, will foul it. The count's 1-2 here in the 7th.
Well, you almost have to make that two-seamer from Ayala start away. I mean, if it's off the plate away, it's going to run back down the middle. If it starts down the middle, it's going to run all over your hands if you're a right-handed hitter. So two things. You got to make it start away and elevate it, and then you got a chance.
Cedeno up for the second time. You have Elliott Johnson and Freeman, two hitters behind him, around Justin Upton, top of the 8th.
Great atmosphere in the ballpark.
By the way, the Nats will go over $2.5 million tonight. Only needed 9,000 to do that, and it's well beyond that, so hats off. And 4 more home games after this. One-two to Worth. Keeps fighting off pitches close in.
I mean, the two-seam fastball from Ayala right now is as good as I've seen him have it. Watch the movement on this pitch. That's a fastball, folks. It might as well be a left-handed slider. Crazy movement. Kind of slinging that thing 3/4, getting inside it. I mean, if there's such a thing as a 90-mile-an-hour screwball, you just saw it.
Then he throws that breaking ball that ends up way outside. Bryce Harper could be facing Scott Downs. (4-6-1) Atlanta, 2-7-1 Washington. So the Nats have out-hit the Braves. Only one inning tonight, the 6th, when they haven't had at least one base hit. Worth, a little bit low, man. 3-2. What does Davey do with his runner Zimmerman with 1 out?
Down by 2, probably keep him right there.
You would think so.
I mean, you want Bryce Harper to hit, right? You can't take a chance to strike him out, throw him out. I think down by 1, you send him. Down by 2, you need the tie and run at the plate with pop, whether it's Jason Worth or Bryce Harper.
Zimmerman very short lead. 3-2, he's holding ball 4. And Jason Worth, an on-base machine, is on for the 4th time tonight. 2 singles, 2 walks. So his on-base percentage is over 400 again. And Carlos Tosca's coming out to get Ayala, and he'll bring in the lefty Scott Downs.
3-1 in Houston, Reds lead, but the Astros have the bases loaded and nobody out in the 4th inning.
There are 2 ballparks where things could change in a hurry. This call to the bullpen, packaged by the UPS Store. We love logistics. Lefty-lefty matchup coming. And the Nats have a chance to get right back into this one. 1 out, 2 on. Harper and Scott Downs. Bryce has faced him once, and he's been walked both times by this 37-year-old left-hander.
Well, good at-bat by Jason Worth, bringing the go-ahead run up in the form of Bryce Harper.
Downs, by the way, missed being a Nat by 1 year. He was with the Expos in '04 and then moved on to Toronto, where he was a part-time starter. Bryce tonight, 1 for 2, sac fly, RBI number 52. And Bryce Harper's hitting .345 over his last 25 ball games.
You're going to see 2 pitches, either a fastball at 88 or a curveball, 73, 74. Game on.
Downs in 42 innings this year. 1 home run given up.
Boy, in big situations, it seems like Bryce Harper always swings at the first pitch. Guy that likes to be aggressive with the game on the line. But that's kind of how he is, right?
It's the way he plays and always has. And the tying run Worth at first base here in the 7th. Oh, 1 pitch. Tony Tarasco skates out of the way.
A lot of teams will play no doubles defense from the 7th inning on. And Schaefer just giving Harper a couple of steps right there. But when you look at Elliott Johnson in left and Jordan Schaefer in center, they're just kind of playing normal. Some teams go to it in the 8th and 9th. Some teams go to it in the 7th. It doesn't look like the Braves are playing no doubles right here with the tie and run on second base, meaning that nothing can be hit over your head. They're playing it straight up with a guy with pop at the plate. Interesting.
Harper reaching, right side, Ugla. Freeman down to make the catch, and the runners move up to second and third. 2 outs.
Well, decision time, right? You'd think. Well, don't think, just play. Tosca's going to go out and make a change. I thought they might entertain the thought of putting Ian Desmond on first, even though he's the go-ahead run, and have the left-on-left matchup with LaRoche, but not to be.
Yeah, and they've got a big arm in David Carpenter, who's coming in to face Ian Desmond. Carlos Tosca used to manage in Toronto. He's handling Atlanta tonight. things have changed, and the Braves on top by 2. The Nats, though, mounting a threat here in the 7th. Long way to go in this one. Great to see Denard Span get that base hit, and you'd love it to be part of at least a game-tying inning.
Yeah, and it falls to Ian Desmond again. I mean, last time up had the big at-bat, runners on second and third, 2 outs, grounded out to third base to Chris Johnson, and now Carlos Tosca deciding to go after Desmond again right here. A guy with 79 RBIs that would left RBI number 80 and 81 in this situation. But I think based on the last at-bat and knowing that Desmond's very aggressive in these situations is why Tosca chose to go David Carpenter versus Ian Desmond, because they know he's going to swing. But like I always say, a swinging bat's a dangerous bat. And how many times in a game do you get 2 chances like Ian Desmond has here tonight?
He's 0 for 2 career against this hard-throwing right-hander who has a 1.63 ERA in his last 28 games. Zimmerman third, Worth second. First pitch, and he goes with the breaker, 85 right in there.
Stole strike 1 with a slider.
2 innings ago, Ian Desmond with 2 runners aboard, second and third, after the Harper sac fly bounced out. And this one out to right. Justin Upton. And the Braves will have a 2-run lead going into the top of the 8th inning. Bullpens will decide this one.
On the ball 4 to Jason Worth and the strike 3 to Dan Uggla. So first Worth on the left, the Alex Wood offering. Off the plate, very close, ball 4. Here's strike 3 to Dan Uggla. Off the plate a little more than Jason Worth. And it was called strike 3 by C.B. Buckner. And Uggla standing out at second base. He saw the call to Worth, and he's saying to Buckner, that's not a strike. So maybe after showing that, you see Freddie Gonzalez charging out of the Braves clubhouse right now to get some more. But that's the way this has gone, and it's all players do is ask for consistency. But, I thought it was fair to show that both pitches, in my opinion, were balls.
And Dan Uggla handled it the right way, didn't he? Talked to the umpire, didn't throw a fit, still in the game.
I guess not even in my opinion, according to Pitch Track, were both balls.
Top of the order, top of the 8th. Elliott Johnson now the left fielder, and he faces Ryan Matthews. Matthews in the 9th yesterday, first game, appearing. And Rendon on 1 pitch. Elliott Johnson retired, top of the 8th. Justin Upton will be next, and he's 2 for 3 with a home run. Join us Sunday, Fantastic Fan Alley. First 25,000 fans receive a Nat scarf presented by Coca-Cola. That's if you come through the center field gate only. And then the Nats will also celebrate our great fans with random giveaways and prizes throughout the game. Go to nationals.com/tickets and join us for the Nats and the Marlins Sunday afternoon. So Johnson, who singled off Matthews yesterday, retired. Justin Upton grounded out on a good play by Ryan Zimmerman, and he faces Matthews with one out here. Upton 0 for 4 career against the hard-throwing sinker ball pitcher Ryan Matthews, and it is on occasion he drops that slider in there. It looks to me, FP, like as the days go on here late in the season, Davey Johnson is passing more responsibility Ryan Matthews' way.
Well, his job to keep it at a 2-run deficit, get his ball club back in the dugout. And if you missed it when I was talking about Ryan the other day, he simplified everything to not thinking about anything other than lowering his sights and basically looking lower into the strike zone. I think anytime you're a player that's had a rough season, you try to simplify things, and that's what Matthews has done. He's been successful, and Xavier Cedeno getting loose.
Yeah, maybe for Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, maybe for Freddie Freeman.
So Wilson Ramos shaking one off, and the umpire's giving him some time. You get one day off, and you come back and you get hit by foul balls and whatever else is out there. 1-2 pitch.
Well, when you think about it, Carp, he didn't even get a day off.
True.
He got a game off.
Yeah.
He played 9 innings yesterday, so you know everybody's saying the streak is broke. Wilson Ramos had a day off. No, he didn't. A day off is when you come to the yard, your manager tells you you're not playing. You kind of go through the motions in BP and you just kick your feet up on the bench and don't even think about playing.
There's a slider, hit to Zimmerman. On to LaRoche, 2 outs. And we'll see if Davey goes lefty-lefty here. Let's check in with Julie, who talked to Wilson Ramos.
I did. I spoke to him before the game, and he said that he was adamant about playing that second game of the doubleheader last night. And it wasn't until just before the game that Randy Norris said, sorry, dude, not playing today. So he had to watch from the dugout. He said it was kind of difficult, but the win covered it all. He said it was great to see these guys and all of the energy in the dugout and just to enjoy it as another player here.
Yeah, Jonathan Solano did a good job of handling Tanner Roark, Craig Stammen, and Rafael Soriano last night, spinning a 5-hit shutout. Those 3 pitchers with Solano behind the plate.
Yeah, anytime as a young catcher you can ride a shutout like Solano did, that's a nice night.
Freddie Freeman 1 for 3 career against Matthews. And Ryan will throw an off-speed pitch that's in the dirt, 2-0. Slots, tables, and dining, the ultimate triple play. Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. And runners in scoring position, Freddie Freeman behind only Alan Craig of St. Louis. And that's for the major league lead.
You got to read Risky Business. Those guys worked hard on that.
3 St. Louis guys on that list, and I think MLB Network did an interesting thing today. They had 5 2-out RBIs in their game last night. That is gold for any offense. Nats will be there next week. Three balls, 1 strike. And Freeman taking a healthy cut. Counts full.
Now, usually it's the righties hitting balls off their front leg off Ryan Matthews. This time it's Freddie Freeman.
Andrelton Simmons came on as a pinch runner last inning for Gaddis. Scampered home on the McCann double to give the Braves their 2-run lead.
That was a nice move by Tosca, pinch running Simmons for Evan Gaddis in the 7th inning. He scored all the way from first base on the double off the bat of McCann.
Freddie Freeman 0 for 3 tonight. 1 for 9 in the series. with a couple of walks and an RBI. And Ryan Matthews strikes him out in a very good 1-2-3 eighth inning for him. It'll be LaRoche, Ramos, and Rendon. Nats down by 2. To learn why Kia is one of the fastest growing car brands in America, and by University of Maryland, University College. Mr. Jefferson's memorial looks beautiful on this Wednesday evening, September 18th. Bottom of the 8th coming up for the Nats. 6, 7, 8 coming up, and at home on our Freight Rail Works do-up. Adam LaRoche at home. A lot of RBI damage. Wilson Ramos in not a full season at home to this point. Quite well, and Anthony Rendon, his share, mostly out of the number 8 spot. David Carpenter still in the game. He got Desmond on the fly ball to end the 7th. Adam LaRoche, 0 for 2 career against him. This guy's got a good heater.
Well, that's where you got to dig down deep if you're the Nationals. Obviously not a lot of room for error with these many games left in the season against a very good bullpen, one that you've already beaten in this series once. Got to find a way to do it again.
Cincinnati 3-2 at Houston, bottom of the 5th. 4-2 Atlanta here, bottom 8. And a 1-1 to LaRoche. He brings in the breaking ball from the outside. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Little backdoor slider right here, 84 miles an hour. Not a lot of break to it. I think maybe the change of speeds fooled LaRoche more than anything. Might have given up on it, the fact that it was off the plate away.
And he'll follow it up with the gas, pumping it up to 96. And Adam able to ride it out. Drew Storen. In the ninth, the Braves will have Simmons, McCann, Chris Johnson. And that time, Adam able to foul off the off-speed pitch. One and two. High in the air, left center. And tailing back to Elliott Johnson, the left fielder, for the first out. MLB.TV celebrating 11 years. Keep up with the pennant races. Catch the rest of the season in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. And that includes a free subscription to MLB At Bat, the #1 sports app of all time. Visit MLB.TV to order and check out more information. Wilson Ramos 0 for 3. And against Carpenter, career hitless in 5 at bats. Has him reaching, and Simmons has it. 2 outs in the 8th. Nats 1 hit since the 5th inning. And for every time the Nats walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Washington, D.C. Over $22,000 as soon as there's one more. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield wants each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Anthony Rendon's had a pretty good night. 2 hits off the starter Alex Wood, hit by a pitch by Anthony Varvaro in the 6th inning. Good fastball, runs back to the corner at 96. Number 9 spot next, and Chad Tracy waiting. Wow. 0-2. Then it goes with the slider.
Rendon had 3 nice at-bats and a couple of singles, hit by pitch last time, been on base all 3 times, trying to fight his way aboard here with 2 outs for Chad Tracy.
On base 36 of his last 39 games now. He's got the batting average back up over 260. And the high-riding fastball evens the count, 2-2.
Good take. That's where Brian McCann wanted it. They tried to elevate for strike 3. Rendon wasn't biting.
And now the count goes full. Rendon showing good restraint. And Chad Tracy, a power guy on deck. And he'll jam Rendon, who pops it up right side for Freddie Freeman. Nats go quietly in the 8th. Got to hold him with 4, 5, 6 coming up in a 4-2 game.
Denard Span extending his hitting streak to 29 games. Anthony Rendon, a couple of knocks tonight. Dan Uggla, Justin Upton going deep for the Braves. But we're going to take you back to the 5th inning when all heck broke loose in Nats Park. Big 3-2 pitch, bases loaded, Jason Worth. Alex Wood doesn't get the call. Kind of flips out a little bit. And I thought Freddie Gonzalez did a nice job of saving his pitcher for at least one more hitter, and that was Bryce Harper. He came up, got a first pitch fastball, sac fly to center field. That scored Denard Span to make it 2-0. And the reason we're showing you this angle is because it's a family show, and if we show you the other angle, I think you saw it live. You know what Wood said to C.B. Buckner.
Another inning here in the 9th for Ryan Matthews, who faces Andrelton Simmons. Came in as a pinch runner, first at bat tonight, and he's 1 for 3 career against Ryan, who had a 13-pitch, 8-strike, 1-2-3, 8th inning. Target in. There's that fastball that he likes to run under the hands of the right-handed batters.
And I said at the time that the Braves were coming unraveled, excuse me, and that they were rattled. But it seems like Freddie Gonzalez came out and actually woke his ball club up and fired him up.
You know, that one swing by Uggla really kind of changed things. And then the later home run in that inning by Justin Upton. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Craig Kimbrell, you know, he's itching to get back out there against the Nats after they did something yesterday nobody's ever done against him. Scored 3 runs in an inning.
Is unrattled a word, by the way?
I think rattled.
Is it, yeah, but I think I just did another yogi where I invented a word.
Yeah, if you get unrattled, that means you're probably doing okay.
Yeah.
You've recovered from being rattled.
I think it is a word. And if it's not,
it is now. It's our Masson word of the night.
Yeah, unrattled.
Two balls, 1 strike. Matthews to McCann. That doubled off the scoreboard last time that gave the Braves their current 2-run cushion. Ball 3.
Ryan Matthews is almost fallen down twice in this sequence, and it looked like he grabbed his leg right there on that one. In his finish, 2 pitches. Either caught a spike or something's bothering him in the lower half.
Throws a pretty good sinker. And that ball hit McCann in the foot. He goes hopping out of there. So that'll be strike 2. There are some lefties who have uncomfortable at-bats against Ryan Matthews.
So Matthews struck out Freddie Freeman to end the 8th. And Freeman and Matthews exchanged glances, and there was some words.
Wouldn't the Nats and the Braves sometime in the playoffs be the story of the year in this part of the country? 1 on, 1 out on the walk. Chris Johnson next, 0 for 2, hit by a pitch. Chris Johnson 2 for 4 career against Ryan Matthews. It's a good swing back fastball with sink to the outside corner. Johnson came to town hitting .330. He's at .326 right now. 1 for 9 in this series. If Desmond can get to it, but he can't. Nats might have had a chance to get out of the inning. And Denard Span dropped the ball. Recovered in time. And 2 on, 1 out.
You know, we talked about Ian Desmond's hamstring and how, you know, he's been playing hurt. I think a healthy Ian Desmond has a chance to get to that ball. made a nice effort as it is, but as a guy that's playing hurt for a couple of days and giving it everything he has, ball gets by him, and Denard Span with a bobble right there picks it up.
Stephen Caddy visiting with Ryan Matthews, with Dan Ugla coming in, who's 0 for 3 career against him.
He's trying to unrattle him.
That's Paul Janisch, who gives the Braves great defense. So he'll run for Chris Johnson and then come in and play third base. Must-out situation here for Ryan Matthews against Ugla, who's 1 for 3 with a game-changing home run leading off the 6th.
Looking for that ground ball to third.
High riding fastball, outer half, strike 2.
Well, I think Dan Ugla's been sitting on a couple of two-seamers, sinkers for Matthews, and he got 4-seamers, both for strikes. Both out over the plate, both where he likes the ball.
Slider, low. That's on their third pitcher of the night. Braves have used 6. And that slider, Ugla thought about it, saw it going out. I don't know how many innings Xavier Cedeno's thrown to the bullpen tonight, but it's been a couple. And a 2-2 with 1 out. Ball 3.
I got to make a pitch right here.
And Ugla will tap one to Matthews. Only play he has, first base. Runners move up, 2 down. Marlins will be here tomorrow night. Henderson Alvarez won his last start at New York with a 7-inning shutout effort. He's 4-4 with a 3.97 ERA. And Steven Strasburg looking for his 8th win of the year. ERA under 3. And he beat the Marlins last time we were there with 4 runs given up in 6 innings, but the Nats did some good hitting that night. Nats Extra 6:30. We'll join you from the booth at 7. First pitch 7:05 tomorrow night. It is September, and managers have lots of arms available. Here comes Xavier Cedeno. The ninth inning, 2 on 2 out. We'll check in on a lefty-lefty matchup in a moment. You can check in tomorrow. Mid-Atlantic Sports Report, 5 to 6:30. Tom, Dave, Phil. A preview of tomorrow night's game and the series against the Marlins. Look-ins to BP player comments and scouting reports on the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report tomorrow. Xavier Cedeno will be facing Jordan Schaefer. So Freddie Gonzalez will stay with his left-handed batter here. He likes Schaefer's defense too. That may be a reason. And of course, Carlos Tosca making the actual calls from the dugout. So Schaefer stays.
Cedeno, 5-pitch guy. Fastball, slider, cutter, curveball, change. And with Craig Kimbrell getting loose in the Braves bullpen, this is the ball game.
And usually managers, if they warm up their closer, they'll use him.
And you would think,
even if the Braves scored a couple, I would think Kimbrell would try to close this thing out. They have a day off tomorrow.
Well, yesterday's the first time he's ever given up 3 runs in a game. So when you're talking about a 2-run lead versus a 4-run lead, this at-bat becomes huge.
Breaking ball. Knocked down by Rendon, but a run scores. Anthony Rendon got a glove on it. McCann scores from third. Yanish to third, and the Braves lead 5-2.
Big run for the Braves. And it looked like Rendon got there, and I don't know how it didn't stick in his glove. Didn't have to leave his feet, caught it on the run, and it just, you know, maybe we'll get a better angle to see where it hit, but it just was right in his glove, popped out. This will show it right here. Where did it hit? Kind of the top of the glove, rattled around, couldn't secure it. And Davey Johnson out to make another change.
So a hit ruled on that one. RBI for Jordan Schaefer. And with Reed Johnson announced as the pinch hitter, the Nats will bring in another right-hander. It'll be Eric Davis against Reed Johnson when we bring you back for the hopefully final out, top 9.
To his right, up the middle. And it looked like he had a beat on it. And that's a play that I'm sure he'll tell you he should have made. And when you watch this, if you watch the ball disappear in his glove, right there, he's got it. It's secure, right? How in the world does that thing pop out? Almost like a putt that's in the bottom of the cup, rattles around and pops back out.
Veteran right-hander Reed Johnson facing Eric Davis. That scorer gave him a hit on that, giving him an RBI. And the Braves have first and third, 2 outs. Reed Johnson, always a tough out. 261 hitter.
The only thing I can come up with, having tried that a few times, is when you reach across your body, you kind of block your view out. You throw your glove where you think the ball is going to be, and you really don't know when to squeeze, meaning you kind of lose sight of the ball, and then all of a sudden it's in your glove, and then you squeeze too late. Maybe that's why it didn't stick.
And a fastball tailing up and into Reed Johnson, who's their best pinch hitter. 11 hits and 32 at-bats as a pinch batter with a homer, 6 RBIs. That's an unheard of 344 pinch batting average. High riding fastball, 93 from the rookie Davis.
And just going right after him, good fastball, elevated, and Johnson can't get on top.
Davis acquired in the Alberto Gonzalez deal from San Diego 2.5 years ago. Some of the deals Mike Rizzo made a few years ago, like Roark from Texas, have come up to help this ball club this year. 1-2 pitch. And Reed Johnson, always a tough guy to strike out, fights it off, goes the other way.
Well, 9-1-2 due up for the Nats. You would think Lombardozzi probably going to lead it off for Davey Johnson in the bottom of the ninth. But first things first, an important out to keep this a 3-run deficit.
Got him on a breaking ball, but he manages to foul it out of play. One ball, 2 strikes. And a good block by Wilson Ramos. Third base, Paul Yanish, who ran for Chris Johnson after his base hit. And then Jordan Schaefer getting a fortunate call on an RBI single. That ball stabbed by Eric Davis, so run it over to LaRoche. So it is still a save situation. The Nats got Craig Kimbrell yesterday. Can they do it again?
Invite you to stick around for our Nets Extra Post game coming up in just a couple of minutes. 5-2. The Nationals have some work to do, Raymond, here in the bottom of the ninth coming up.
They certainly do, Johnny, and this is something that, you know, we've grown accustomed to them just snatching a victory. Very tough bullpen. I don't know. You know, you just got to stack runners on base, somehow build an inning. You know, one of those nights where a lot of things went right for the ball club, and 2 big home runs, crucial times off of Ohlendorf after he was really throwing the ball great. The 5 innings that he pitched, he retired 15 straight hitters. One guy got a base hit, Upton, but then he had a double play ball, and then in 6 innings, things kind of imploded on him.
And Ray, he started off like a house of fire. No hit Atlanta through the first 3 innings. Didn't touch him.
Yeah, very good stuff once again. And then the home run on a hanging breaking ball, first pitch. And then Upton got him on a fastball, just 89 miles an hour, Johnny. But yeah, he had great stuff tonight. Only threw 70 pitches, threw 70% strikes. Just had the 1 inning and, the 2 big home runs.
Well, we saw yesterday, as a matter of fact, we had a nice little comeback to win a ball game. So it's the bottom of the 9th. Back up to Bob at FP and see if he can duplicate that feat tonight.
All right, Johnny, thank you, Ray. Paul Janisch at third base for the Braves. As this one goes to the bottom of the 9th. You need contact against Craig Kimbrough, and Steve Lombardozzi will be the leadoff man.
Well, I think, job number 1 for Lombardozzi is to make Kimbrough throw strikes. He didn't the other day. And once he establishes that zone, you got to go to work.
And he misses. Kimbrough, a long 9th inning yesterday. He walked LaRoche leading off. Ramos a hit. Walked Rendon. A couple of ground balls undid the Braves from there. Nats down by 3. Ball 2 upstairs.
Got to get him in his zone. Oh, now you go to work.
Counts even. Kimbrough 47 saves, 4 blown, including yesterday. Top of the order next with Span. And Lombardozzi will hit a 2-hopper to Dan Ugla.
It's time for your Kia drive of the game, and what you think it would be. Denard Span extends his hitting streak to 29 games. Go back to the 7th inning. Denard Span in a 3-1 count gets a fastball from Ayala right down the middle. Serves it in the right center field. Another line drive off the bat of Span. That drive of the game is brought to you by Kia. Visit Kia.com and learn why Kia is one of the fastest growing car brands in America. And a cool moment in tonight's game. Standing ovation from Nats fans, and extends his hitting streak to 29 games.
Yeah, drive to right center in the 7th, and he'll pull that one foul. But check his bat to make sure he didn't break it.
But you see that right there? Kimbrough threw 3 strikes in a row to Lombardozzi, so strike zone established. It's time to go to work. Nothing to wait around for. And you definitely don't want to get to that hard curveball with 2 strikes.
Yeah, righty or lefty. He goes to the hook and misses with it. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 6th at Houston. Reds 4, Astros 2. Now the Astros, we're told, have scored a run, so it's a 4-3 ball game suddenly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball on the corner. And a 1-2 pitch. Span on that breaking ball in the dirt, strikes out. 2 down.
Well, you knew a guy like Craig Kimbrough was just itching to get back on the mound after what happened in Game 1 yesterday. That's not accustomed to blowing saves. A guy that never given up 3 runs in his career. Looks like he righted the ship so far here tonight. Curveball's curving, fastball for strikes.
So against the Nats, first 10 games untouchable. Houston, by the way, has just tied that game. And here's Zimmerman. He takes one inside.
Well, if the Nats don't come back and win this one, I guess you have to root for the push. But even with another day off the schedule, I guess that's all you can hope for. This is new to me, too. I don't know. Is that good? I mean, it's getting late. I remember last year openly criticizing the second wild card thing, saying one-game playoff after 162 games. That's ridiculous, and here I am this year rooting for it. So I guess it depends on where you're at, right?
Yeah, and it's all about catching Cincinnati because the Pirates won again tonight. Actually, they gave up the lead late and lost their game, pardon me. And now the Nats have been beaten by the Braves, who salvage a game of this series in a ball game that took 3 hours and 20 minutes, and the Braves salvage one. Their magic number goes down to 2. They'll try to take care of their business at Wrigley Field. For FP and for Julie, Bob Carpenter. Braves salvage one, winning at 5-2. Tomorrow night, the Marlins are here. Steven Strasburg on the mound. We'll start you at 6:30 Nats Extra. This has been a Masson presentation. Nats Extra postgame straight ahead and from the booth at Nationals Park. So long for just a while.